that I will raise you a prophet from your brethren.
Yep.
Okay. The term brethren can refer to Israelites and non-Israelites, in particular the Arabs.
Okay.
Because the same term in the Bible refers to Edomites.
Well-
Edomites. Are you aware of that?
Yeah. Well, it does talk about Edomites.
And they were Arabs.
Yeah, but number one, have you got evidence that Muhammad's claim to descend from Ishmael is a genuine claim? Have you got evidence? to
Yes,
support that?
absolutely, absolutely.
What's your evidence?
Firstly, to prove my argument, Muhammad doesn't have to be a descendant of Ishmael. Are you aware of that?
Right. So who are you saying he is?
He's an Arabian prophet. So just to respond to your point, I don't have to prove to you that Muhammad was a direct descendant of Ishmael. He was. I will prove that to you.
Okay.
But I'm just simply giving you a side point that I don't even have to prove to you that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a direct descendant of Ishmael. I don't have to. Because the Bible doesn't put that condition.
No,
Okay?
But it does say brethren, and the context seems to be quite clear when it says brethren.
Well, he was an
That's
Arab.
the 12
Muhammad
tribes of
was
Israel.
Muhammad was definitely an Arab. Whether he was a descendant of Ishmael or not can be addressed.
It's real-
Sorry?
I hate this rain. It's very distracting.
Well, we call it the mercy of God. When we don't have it, we're praying for it.
Yeah.
And you're from Australia.
I'm from Australia.
Recently,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were praying for rain. And
Yeah, my name's
Muslim.
Caleb, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
What is it, Adnan?
Adnan, yes,
Adnan.
Adnan. And recently, Muslims came out to pray for rain. So that yeah, and it was a good
Why don't we read
human
the verse?
endeavor.
Why don't we read the verse
Yeah,
and then talk about it?
absolutely.
So why don't I start verse 14 to... Actually, I don't even have written down. Let me
But
get the
before
actual-
you read, I want to quickly highlight something, that we don't read biblical verses in isolation. What we do is we read them in light of other biblical verses. So we'll read the Bible, or we try to read the Bible holistically, although Bible is patchwork. Even biblical scholars have repeatedly highlighted.
Well, the textual criticism is another issue. What the passage that I quoted from the Quran
Okay.
was in what they have of the Torah and the Gospel.
I understand. The question I am trying to address is, can we read the Bible as a uniform text from Genesis to Revelation? No. None of the Christian scholars, none of the Jewish scholars ever claim that. You have to
What do you
read,
mean by a unified text?
because the Bible currently as it is patchwork. Verses have been put together by different people in different places at different times, right? And this is very, very clear
I think we're talking about a different topic.
Yes,
here.
you're right.
Well,
You're right, but that topic is directly relevant to the prophecies
Not,
we're
not
discussing.
really, because what I'm trying to say is that in Surah 7, 157, it says that you will find written in the described in the Torah and the Gospel.
Yes.
The unlettered prophet.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
And a lot of Muslims point to Deuteronomy 18.
No,
And
we
it
point
says
to other.
in what they have of the Torah and the Gospel.
We point to other passages as well.
But,
So
but-
when
yeah, but you do point to Deuteronomy 18.
we do, it's one of them.
So my
Yes.
point is that if we take that, then we look at that passage, especially starting at verse 14 and 15. What is the evidence there that that's talking about Muhammad? And I wanted to read the passage.
It doesn't mention Muhammad. It does not.
Yeah,
It does not
describes
mention Muhammad.
him.
It gives you ideas. It points to the direction
Why don't I
of
read
a
it?
prophet. Yeah, a prophet coming.
Why don't I read it?
And wait. So that we have a fruitful discussion very quickly. You can read it. Why are we saying that Deuteronomy 18:18 is still unfulfilled as late as the period of Jesus, when Jesus was
I don't
walking
think it
there?
is unfulfilled.
Okay, that's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, if it was fulfilled, who was it fulfilled in?
Jesus.
Jesus. Okay, you're saying Deuteronomy 18:18 is
I mean, I was
strong.
going to say it was Paul then Muhammad.
Okay, now that's the point we need to address. Instead of going into long
But we need to read the
hermeneutic
passage. We need to
exercises.
read the passage first.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
let's
Go
read
ahead. That's fair enough. Go ahead. Read the passage.
I'm reading
And
from
we
the NIV, right? But I will, instead of saying fellow Israelites, I'll say brethren, right?
If it's not too troublesome, can we get an umbrella? Because okay, thank you.
Okay. So,
Yeah, no, this is better.
verse 15 of chapter 18 of Deuteronomy. The Lord
Okay.
your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your fellow Israelites, or from your brethren, okay?
Okay, this translation I don't
That's
know.
fine.
Yeah.
We'll say from brethren.
Is that in brackets?
No? This is NIV.
your NIV, which is very much theologically driven. I don't know if you.
I think it's a good translation. But
No, it's a good translation. I agree with that.
But
you
I'm
know
happy to
that
just say
that
brethren.
term Israelites.
I'm just happy to say brethren for you. I'll say brethren.
Oh,
Right?
so when
Just say
why
brethren.
did you say fellow Israelites?
Because it says it here. But I'll just
But
say
it's not-
brethren
it's
for
not in
your
the
sake,
Hebrew.
I'll say brethren. Yeah, I agree. The Hebrew is brethren.
So-
I
so-
think
so-
the
so-
meaning is fellow Israelites. That's why it's translated
Okay.
that way.
What I'm trying to highlight is,
I'll read it through.
you just read something which is not in the Hebrew text. Do we agree?
No, I think that is in the Hebrew text. I think it is saying fellow.
From
fellow
Israelites.
Yeah, it is saying fellow Israelites.
No, it's not
When
there.
it says brethren in that context, the
No,
meaning is fellow
no.
Israelites. We
That-
can debate
the-
that point.
But the
We can
word,
debate that point.
the words fellow Israelites is missing completely from the Hebrew text, from
It says
all
It
manuscripts.
says brethren, but the context of
Yes.
brethren is
No,
fellow
this
Israelites.
is something you're imposing on it,
No, this is something
because
that is just
brethren
clearly
is
in
a
the
very
meaning.
general term, which we can talk about. It can mean Israelites, no doubt.
Let's
it can
go-
mean Israelites.
Let me change it to
can
King
also
James
mean
for you.
non-Israelites.
Oh, how will King James sort you? Will that be good for you? All right, let me read it, King James, right?
No, but why don't we go to Hebrew? Isn't that
Well, we
better?
know the word is brethren,
Exactly. Okay.
I've no
now,
problems with that.
now the issue is.
but we
Bret-
haven't read the passage. Let's read the passage.
No, because if you're going to read something which is not in Hebrew, I will have to highlight
that's
that.
fine. Okay,
yeah.
we'll do
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
The Lord, which is Yahweh in Hebrew, right, capital, thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him you shall hearken, according to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh, my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And when the Lord said this, and when the Lord said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken, I will raise up for them a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. So the first thing I wanted to point out here is that it says there has to be a prophet like Moses.
Good.
Right?
Yeah. We agree. So
in
here
the context, what does
let's
that
agree.
mean?
Let's agree first. The term is brethren, not Israelites. Yes.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. And a prophet who will come in the future will be a prophet like Moses.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there's a context to it though.
All right. What's the
The
context?
context is verse 15.
Okay, which
where
is what?
It says,
Read it, please.
verse 16. According to all that you desired of the Lord your God,
Yeah.
in Horeb the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. So the context is, when they went to the Mount Horeb, God spoke out of the fire to the people, but they didn't want to hear anymore.
Okay.
And so they wanted Moses to speak to God and then bring the message to them
Sure.
from God. That's
Sure.
the context here. So
That's amazing. That fits well into
Well,
the profile of Muhammad.
So,
we
so
will
let's
see
just
how.
clarify.
Yeah.
So Moses, in other passages in Numbers, it says that Moses would go and speak.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I took the other one.
Moses would go and speak to God.
Yeah.
God would appear to him. He appeared to him in the burning bush. He appeared to him in a pillar
Okay.
of cloud.
Okay.
He would speak to him. He would give him the commands, and then he would take that command
Okay.
and give it to the people.
Okay.
That is how Moses.
My
revealed his
understanding-
That's what it means to be like Moses. There's nothing else in the context. That's all it says about what it means to be like Moses.
Thank you for that. I understand your concerns about this. How we understand this particular verse and verses around this verse is that not every single aspect of Moses' life has to be fulfilled in this coming prophet. For example,
Yeah, it's just that one point.
Okay, there are a few things that are very similar to Moses in Muhammad, and those things cannot be found in Jesus.
Yeah.
Let me explain. Let
Yeah,
me explain.
But all this is saying is that, like Moses,
Yes.
all it means.
So let's
is
see
one
how
thing.
Moses, how Muhammad was like Moses. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. Let's say he was 100%, 98% like Moses, and Jesus was
And
like
Jesus
20%
was-
like
Jesus-
Moses,
no,
right?
yeah.
That's not really relevant. The point that is being made here in verse 16 is that, like Moses, is what they asked, what Israel asked.
Like Moses.
No, yeah,
Yes.
but they didn't ask like Moses. They
Yeah.
asked
Yeah.
that Moses would speak to God for them,
Right.
and that he would speak directly to God
Yes.
rather than God speaking directly to them.
Okay.
So when it says like Moses, the
So this is
context
exactly what
very
happened
clear.
with Muhammad.
No, Muhammad spoke number one to the angel Gabriel,
Right.
and also the Qurans were the
No,
revelations were
no,
revealed
we know
to
Muhammad.
him
No, you're wrong.
in
You're wrong.
trances and things like
You're
that.
mistaken about that. Muhammad did speak to God
When I read
directly.
Ahmed did that, he was very clear that he.
Let me clarify something. Christians, our brothers around the world, they have to move on from Ahmadiyyat. Sheikh Ahmadiyyat did what he did, and we appreciate his work, but he wasn't infallible. We don't follow him in everything. We do agree with a lot of things he did and said. We don't agree with a lot of what he said, right? So let's move on from Sheikh Ahmadiyyat. Our Christian brothers around the world.
How did God, not just
let me explain.
some one time, but the general way in which God
Just like I
communicated
allowed you to explain. Let me explain now.
Okay.
Okay. Now Muhammad, peace be upon him, did speak to God directly when he went on the night journey, Mi'raj. He had a conversation with God. We have been told in prophetic tradition,
Do you know what that
and we have reports and the details are there. 5 daily prayers were made obligatory directly by God himself and given to Muhammad. Okay, and there was the debate is about whether Muhammad, peace be upon him, saw God directly without any curtains or any barriers between, right? Or he spoke to God but he did speak to God.
Okay, so he spoke to God
so
once.
that's fulfilled.
But is that the?
Okay,
it's
no.
not fulfilled.
All I have to show is he spoke to God.
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
It's not correct. So the passage is very clear that God began to speak to Israel by giving the 10 Commandments.
Okay.
By giving his voice from heaven, and the people said to stop. And they wanted from then on the revelation to come by Moses speaking directly to God and then bringing that message to them.
Okay.
Now, it may be, according to the Islamic tradition, that one time Muhammad spoke to God directly. That's not the point. The point is the revelation that is revealed, all the revelation that Moses revealed, came from him directly communicating with God.
Okay.
Muhammad, you cannot say that generally.
So are you
it's an
saying
exception to the rule.
angels had no role
Just
with
let me
Moses?
finish. What you're saying.
Are you saying angels never came to Moses?
No, let me just clarify what you're
No,
saying.
because I'm turning
example that you
your
gave-
argument. I'm turning your argument around the other way.
But I just want to clarify
If
something.
no, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Sorry. Sorry. It doesn't need your help.
If an angel did not come to Moses,
No, wait.
then why you are exaggerating?
Okay. Can you?
If
Am I talking to you, sir? Am I talking to you?
If angel did not come
Does he
to
need your help?
Moses, why you are exaggerating?
Does he need your help?
Why, yeah.
Does he need your help? Does he need your help? Does he
This
need
is
your help?
Speaker's corner.
He's doing
this is speaker's corner, and everybody has a right to speak.
Okay.
If you-
We'll continue with our
if
discussion.
you-
Okay, we'll ignore him.
all
We'll
right.
ignore him.
It's all
Yeah. He's being indecent, and we'll continue with our decent discussion. So, with regards to this question, if I can show you that Moses had interaction with the angels, then your argument falls on his face.
No, not
because
really.
because then both can be showed that there were times when Muhammad spoke to God, and there were times when he didn't speak to God directly. Likewise, there were times when Moses spoke to God, and there were times when he didn't speak to God directly. So, what does that show us? That your argument, your criteria, cannot be used as a rule of thumb in this case. What can be used as a rule of thumb are the indications, or are the conditions given by God. What is the condition? One condition, or a few conditions actually.
We're moving on.
Let me come.
I don't want to move on from this point.
No, why not? Because
Because we
conditions.
haven't finished. I want to respond to what
I have
said.
responded to your point already.
Okay, so can I respond to that?
Yeah,
to that
yeah,
point?
yeah.
So
He was not squeezed by Moses. He wasn't. He wasn't squeezed 3 times.
sorry. I was just-
And
Sorry,
even Moses was
Thanks, man.
able to read and write.
So what I'm trying to say, when you read that passage, there may have been an occasion, according to the Islamic tradition, that Muhammad spoke directly to God, right? I don't agree with that, but it's in your tradition, right? But as a general rule,
of course you don't agree with
yeah, of course, yeah.
all of
but
it.
as a general
You
rule,
don't agree with anything we have.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But as a general rule,
Yeah.
The manner in which God communicated his revelation was not by Muhammad speaking directly to God.
Okay.
Whereas, let me just finish, just to give you the opposite.
Yeah.
Whereas with Moses, there may have been occasions where he may have spoken to angels or whatever, but the majority, the general rule of him receiving his revelation was that he received it directly from God.
That's only
and
with
then
the Ten
imparted it to
Commandments. That's only with the Ten Commandments.
No, the Ten Commandments were given by God.
So
voice to the
Torah
people
was
of Israel.
entirely given directly by God. Show me in the Bible?
Well-
Show me in the Bible that Torah,
yeah.
5 books, or whatever they contain, was given directly
I've
by
just,
God.
I've just shown you. what
No,
that
10
passage-
commandments, I
the very
agree.
passage
10
that we-
commandments, just like Muhammad was given certain commandments by God, obligation of prayer, right, directly by God. Torah was given directly by God to Moses.
Yeah.
Was the law in its entirety given by God directly?
I think
or
so, yeah.
show me
I
the
think-
evidence.
no, what I'm trying to
The
say-
evidence, please.
Sorry, let me take that back. What I'm
Okay,
trying to say
okay,
is that as
okay.
a general rule,
Yeah.
the revelation.
Now you're
that
imposing
Moses
rules,
received-
yes.
Yeah, as I'm talking about a general rule, because
Right.
this is the general characterization of Moses.
Okay.
According to that passage, to be like Moses
Okay.
is to be one who speaks directly to God
Okay.
and receives.
Now
his
clearly
revelation.
we don't agree, right?
Well,
So
it
let's
says that in
move
the
on.
passage.
Let's
It says that
move
in the
on.
passage.
Let's move on to the
Even
conditions now.
Okay.
Moses was
Okay.
So let's go.
So
to
let
the
me
first
show
one.
you.
was given
Let me show you.
Name
Okay.
of
Listen,
all right, you've
listen,
made your point, I've
listen.
made my
Are
point.
these
I'm
Christian
going to
manners?
move on to
given
the
a
next.
Are
name
these
of God in the burning bush.
are these
In
Christian
the burning
manners?
bush,
Are these Christian manners?
Moses
Are these Christian manners?
received
Are
revelation.
these Christian manners?
Okay.
Are these
Moses,
Christian manners?
Moses received
Yeah.
revelation in the
No,
burning
no.
bush.
Are these Christian
In
manners?
the burning bush. And special name of God.
Thanks, man.
A name of God.
Thank you. I think that manners.
Okay. So the next condition would be a prophet like thee. That's the first one.
Yeah, let's talk about
The
that very
next-
quickly.
well, we've just both given our opinion on that, right? We
Yeah.
can move on from that.
Yeah,
Otherwise we'll
absolutely.
be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next
absolutely.
point is from the midst of thee.
Okay.
From the midst of thee.
Okay.
Who's he
now,
speaking to?
Okay. He is speaking to the Israelites.
So
here.
from the midst of the
Okay.
Israelites.
Yes. Okay. Now, what's the Hebrew for that? Are you aware of the
Yeah,
Hebrew
the Hebrew
term?
word is kereb, I think.
Okay.
The kereb, which means in
Kerub
your midst,
means
or it
your-
actually can refer to your inner
No, no,
parts.
no, no.
If I'm right, I just got
Kerub means close to you. Okay.
It
The
actually
same
can
word.
mean your
The
inner-
same word is in Arabic.
I'll tell you
Qarib.
what, I'll pull up-
Qarib
I
means
will
someone
literally-
close to you. Someone close to you. So again,
I will literally
translations.
pull up the word.
Okay,
I will
please do.
literally pull up the
And
word. So
you've
let's-
already given me the word.
I will literally pull up the Hebrew.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
So we go to
Okay.
Hebrew.
Because a lot of the biblical translations are theologically driven. These translations, just like many
I'm
translations of the
pulling up the
Quran,
Hebrew for you.
I'm being consistent.
I'm
Just
pulling up
like
the
many
Hebrew for you.
translations of the Quran, they
From
are.
your midst.
Yeah,
We'll click on it. From your midst.
yeah.
The Hebrew word.
It's kirba.
So yeah, it's
Big kirba.
giving me. Let me
Okay,
just bear with me a
yeah.
sec. So let's click on this. Okay.
In the Arabic language, we have the same word for closeness of relations. Okay, koraba. Okay, or
So
yeah.
the definition
I'm sorry,
of
not
kerub-
koraba, akreba.
The definition of kerub is midst or inward parts. It refers even to your inner organs.
Okay, okay.
Right? So when he says
Okay, and-
in the midst of thee, he's talking to the Israelites and he's saying the prophet will come from in your midst.
Okay. Now, no, that okay.
Inner
okay.
parts.
And other meanings. Can you read other meanings? Among, body.
I'll
Wait.
give you another
Can
Yeah,
you
go on.
stop there?
Yeah, which one? Are you
Devoured, entrails, heart, herself, inner
right,
thought,
inner.
inside, inward
Yeah.
feelings, inward part,
right.
inward thought, inwardly,
So the
middle,
general
midst,
meaning is
within,
within you,
within
the
our
Israelites.
land, within their land. Okay, go down, please. Okay,
This is another dictionary. another
okay.
Hebrew
Which is
dictionary.
what does it say? Sorry.
Inward part, midst.
Okay,
Yeah.
and keep going.
Inward parts of the human body.
Okay,
So the
okay.
context,
Okay,
the
the
real
way-
meaning is within you.
Okay.
Within you, the
word.
Israelites that he's speaking to.
Are you aware that Arabic and Hebrew are sister
Yeah,
languages?
honestly, I'm just going to
Yeah.
go by a dictionary. I'm not going to go by
Okay.
Arabic or your knowledge
Okay.
of
I
Arabic.
can get out another dictionary and show you.
Okay, show
that,
me a dictionary that gives that
the,
word
the
kereb
term
a different meaning.
qarib or kirb.
But
What's
that's
the word?
Arabic you're talking about.
No.
Then you're committing the phonic fallacy. I think that happened to you in
No,
the debate,
I'm
isn't
not.
it?
I am not. I'm not committing that fallacy because I know for a
The
fact.
word Allah in Hebrew is an oak tree.
No, it's not. No, it's
Anyway,
not.
anyway, I don't know. It
No,
was brought
because
up in that debate you had. Remember that debate
the
you
word
had?
Allah comes from Elohim, and Ilahi, same term used by biblical
Yeah.
personalities.
Yeah.
Elohim.
El and Elohim, yeah.
No,
they're different.
Ilahi. Allah is Al-Ilaha. Allah, the term Allah
It's all right.
is
I'm just mucking around with you.
Al-Ilaha.
I was
Ilaha is the word used by allegedly Jesus on the cross. So
It's a general word for God. It can mean like Greek
exactly.
gods. It can
And
mean any
when
kind of
some
God,
Christians
right?
claim that it's moon god or you should.
The word El or Theos or whatever
Okay.
can be any
Now,
God.
now,
Even Greek
midst,
gods.
midst, midst the term midst there, okay, can be argued or can be debated, right? When we go further,
From Hebrew.
no,
Not Arabic.
absolutely, I stand by my point.
Karib.
I'm saying karib is actually qarib in Arabic. Okay,
Yeah, but it doesn't
qarib
mean
means
anything to
close.
me in Arabic.
In Arabic, it means close. Okay, if you ask any student
The
of
Hebrew
Arabic,
means inward parts,
Okay,
or
no,
inner,
the problem
in your
is
midst.
do you know Semitic languages?
No, but I know other
Okay,
people
I know
that do.
one of them. I know one of them. I mean, relatively, I know it relatively well. I'm not an expert in the Arabic language, okay, but I'm a student of the language.
Well, I'm
I
just
have
going
to
by the
study it.
dictionary.
Okay,
I got two dictionaries that support my
we can
definition.
if you
can
want.
come up with a dictionary,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I will.